Hello and thank you for joining us. It's time for news. Enjoy with me, Shaklan Saidi. First, the headlines. Pope Francis invite prayers for victims of war and natural disasters. Members of Parliament call for government to revise CDF to improve development. Reserve Bank of Malawi commits to promote financial inclusion among all groups of people. And in other news, protester shot dead amid Kenyan protests. We have these and more. Stay with us. Pope Francis has called on the faithful to be praying for water on Ukraine, victims of the tornado in Mississippi, USA, and earthquake survivors in Turkey and Syria. Speaking at the conclusion of the Sunday address, the Holy Father also prayed for peace and reconciliation in Peru. He further turned his thoughts to parts of the world hit by war and unrest. He mentioned the Caritas collection taking place in parishes across Italy in favor of people of Syria and Turkey affected by the earthquake. We have a Vatican News report being read by Tandiwe Mzumara.
After leading the recitation of the Angelus prayer, Pope Francis turned his thoughts to parts of the world hit by war, unrest, and natural disasters, encouraging everyone to pray for people affected and to bring solidarity. The Pope then remembered the people of the U.S. state of Mississippi, hit by a massive and destructive tornado on Friday, urging everyone to pray for the victims and people recovering from the loss of life and devastating destruction, where an estimate of 26 people were killed in the storm that caused widespread damage. Recalling the tragic 6th of February earthquake in Turkey and Syria, where over 50,000 people were killed, the Pope called on the faithful to not forget these populations struggling to recover from the catastrophic aftermath. He mentioned the Caritas collection, which took place on Sunday in parishes across Italy in favor of the people of Syria and Turkey affected by the earthquake. In conclusion, the Pope mentioned in particular the Peruvian pilgrims, where he renewed his prayers for peace and reconciliation, asking everyone to join him, saying the nation is suffering so much.
Members of Parliament has asked the Ministry of Finance to consider revising upwards the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, citing its importance to the development of constituencies. This came out this afternoon during contributions that the legislators made to the National Budget Statement presented by the Minister of Finance on 2nd March 2023. The members said for each constituency to be developed, it needs more resources that are mostly incorporated in CDF, hence the need to keep on providing such resources with calls for additions. Currently, government allocates 100 million kwacha towards the fund, which is an increase from the previous allocation of 40 million kwacha. A Periscope study, which was disseminated earlier today in Lilongwe, shows that many pregnant and postpartum women living with HIV experience feelings of sadness or depression. Presenting the findings, Professor Angela Bengton of Brown University said perinatal depression adversely affects women's health and physical health, making it difficult to remain engaged in HIV care. She said counseling and support to to stay engaged in HIV care may help to improve women's mental health and engagement in the care system. We have a report by Bridget Manoka.
In 2011, Malawi became the first country to implement Option B+, a program for preventing maternal-to-child transmission, PMTCT, of HIV by providing lifelong ART to all pregnant and breastfeeding women regardless of CD4 count or other healthy conditions. However, engagement in HIV care has emerged as a challenge to sustaining and building on the success of Option B+, as Periscope study reveals that 11 mothers out of 100 who are attending antenatal experience mental health problems like depression, while 14 out of 100 who have delivered pass through the same. Professor Angela Benton of Brown University told journalists that the study was crucial because it will help bridge the gap which is there in HIV care. She said, among other things, it has also helped adapt and enhance the friendship bench and assess its visibility, fidelity of delivery, and acceptability in addressing postnatal depression and HIV care engagement among perinatal women living with HIV.
So this was a dissemination on the Periscope study. So the focus of the Periscope study was around addressing perinatal depression for women who are living with HIV and who are also pregnant. We also recognize that there is a challenge for women who are living with HIV in long-term engagement in HIV care. So the premise of our study was that for women experiencing perinatal depression, this might be a barrier to their ongoing engagement in HIV care. So our intervention focused on addressing both perinatal depression while also offering support for long-term engagement in care.
From Division of Non-Communicable Disease and Mental Health in the Ministry of Health, Assistant Director of Curative Medical Rehabilitation Services responsible for mental health, Dr. Michael Udedi, said the study has shown that it is possible to integrate mental health care management to mothers who are attending antenatal care and those who have delivered. He said the government is on the forefront in addressing some of the challenges as they have established a friendship bench and provide counseling to various pregnant women.
This study has shown us that it's possible to integrate mental health care management in mothers who are attending antenatal care, but also mothers who probably have delivered and they're out there in the community, but they are having mental health problems. So they can be engaged as well as retained into care, but also their mental health outcomes can be improved by receiving mental health care such as the friendship bench, counseling, or what we call problem-solving therapy.
New guidance from the World Health Organization recommends that women diagnosed with HIV during pregnancy and with CD4 counts below 350 cells should start ARVs. However, women living with HIV experience depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress symptoms at higher rates than their male counterparts and more often than HIV-unaffected women. This is Bridget Manoka for Luntha News in Lilongwe.
Civil society organizations on health have asked the government to include their representatives in the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 as CSOs represent the views of people. Speaking during the COVID-19 campaign launch today in Lilongwe, Malawi Health Equity Network Program Manager Davis Machimu said CSOs represent the views of people by working with communities. According to Machimu, the absence of CSOs in the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 is a challenge in terms of access to information regarding COVID-19, as well as registering the views of CSOs and Malawians in terms of health. We have a report by Charity Chiranga. We apologize for being unable to give you that report. But remember, you're still watching news on Luntha television. We'll be back after the break.
Masiku ano zomaphunzira sukulu ndi malingaliro odzalembedwa ntchito ndi zamakedzana. Anzanu ochuluka miyoyo yawo yasinthiratu poti adapanga chisankho chopita ku Luso Tech komwe adakaphunzira ntchito yamanja yakumtima kwawo. Pangani chisankho nanu popita kukaphunzira zina mwa ntchito izi zomwe zili pa 65,000 ndi ICT certificate, electro and solar installation, tailoring and fashion design, computer repairing, video production, phone repairing, komanso electronics repairing. Komanso zomwe zili pa 120,000 kwacha ndi welding and fabrication komanso plumbing. Registration idu ndi 3,000 kwacha yokha basi. Ndipo malo ndi ku Lilongwe mu White Falls opposite Admark. Mongokumbutsana kuti ma diploma programs alipo omwe ali under City and Guards and ABMA. Mukafuna kudziwa zambiri imbani foni kapena tumizani message pa WhatsApp kuma nambala awa 083 114 412 komanso 092 554 5449.
Are you passing through Desert Town and you think of finding a place to rest or just to have some nice food? Always keep this name in your mind. Comfort Lodge. Situated in Airfield at Desert Town. Here at Comfort Lodge, we offer comfortable, affordable, and quality accommodation. The place is located at a very quiet environment that gives you a comfortable and peaceful sleep. We also offer local food such as mademba, masambote ndela, chisoso, ndi ndo zina za lokolo zambiri. Talking of entertainment, that's not an issue as we have a DSTV for your favorite channels. Tight security, electricity and water backups are all in place just for you dear customers. During this time of COVID-19, we have all measures in place just for your safety. Oh yes, come and taste a different feel of life here at Comfort Lodge in the town. Comfort Lodge. Comfort Lodge, your number one place for affordable and quality accommodation.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, remember that this is time for news right here on Luntha television. Moving forward, the Reserve Bank of Malawi has committed to promote the involvement of all people in financial matters in the country. This gives an opportunity to individuals and businesses to have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs. Speaking during the opening ceremony of the convergence meeting of the Alliance for Financial Inclusion earlier today, RBM Governor Dr. Wilson Banda said that Malawi is doing well in giving platform to the unbanked to have access to financial services with hope that more people will be reached. We have a report by Bernard Mwanza.
The 2023 Alliance for Financial Inclusion AFI Working Group's Convergence meeting has brought together members of the three working groups from across the globe, namely Consumer Empowerment and Market Conduct Working Group, Financial Inclusion Strategy and Peer Learning Working Group, and Financial Inclusion Data Working Group to discuss ways of how they can enhance financial inclusion in their respective countries. In his remarks, Governor of the Reserve Bank of Malawi, Dr. Wilson Banda, said Malawi has come a long way in promoting the financial inclusion agenda, with the Reserve Bank of Malawi at the forefront. He said the implementation of several policy measures geared towards banking the unbanked and formalizing the informal financial sector constitutes integral parts of the overall national strategy for financial inclusion to promote an inclusive financial system in the country. It is reported that currently Malawi has less than 2 million people who have access to banking services, whereas 12 million people have access to mobile money services. FDH Bank Managing Director Noel Nkulich said as a bank, they have done so much in as far as financial inclusion is concerned by providing solutions to the unbanked despite other challenges that exist.
You need to understand financial inclusion is quite a cost. It is a cost because we need to have gadgets, we need to have channels, and as a result, we end up finding that it becomes quite a bit of costly. But on our part, running with the government agenda, we're trying as much as possible to actually absorb all those losses, all those costs, and ensure that we provide the necessary solutions to the unbanked.
Meanwhile, the central bank has encouraged the general public to participate in digital banking services, which also simplify financial transactions. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, I am Bernard Mwanza.
The National Initiative for Civic Education, NICE Trust, in Balaga District has called on religious leaders to help their followers in mindset change so that some of the issues that are affecting the district and the country can be reduced or totally eliminated. Civic Education Officer for the district, Henry Zagalia, made the call during an interface meeting with faith leaders and other stakeholders, a meeting that took place at Boma TDC. During the meeting, it was revealed that some religious and cultural beliefs have been a hindrance to development, which at the end of the day have put the right to life at stake, giving an example of the fight against cholera that hit the district as an immediate challenge that needs their component. We have a report by our reporter from Balaga, Rashida Matandika.
NICE has started a campaign towards the National Agenda 2063, which according to the Balaga District Civic Education Officer Henry Zakaria, needs mindset change to be fulfilled. The meeting was meant to get faith leaders on the same page with government in implementing projects that targets the Malawi 2063 agenda in order to reduce resistance from the communities who have much faith in their faith leaders more than other information disseminators. One of the issues that was highlighted as being crucial in the district was the cholera outbreak, which until now is being fought against, as it was revealed that some members of faith and cultural groups have a different view in the battle. Despite the differences, participants agreed that issues of faith needs to be handled with care so that members of faith can see the whole view of protecting life while keeping their faith and beliefs, as life is the master law in the constitution of the country. Speaking to the media after the meeting, Father Paul Henry Mashonga of the Catholic Church said in the journey of achieving the 2063 vision, the agenda should not be politicized and mistaken with political party manifestos.
It's true that for many years now in Malawi, when it comes to politics, more especially times of elections, what we have been hearing more is about the manifesto of different political parties. And these politicians, when they go out, they publicize, they try to lure people with their manifesto. But they don't speak much about the national agenda. What kind of development are there that each and every political party, once it is in the government, will be able to put that forward. So we want it to make it in the way that if, whether it's which party has been elected or to rule Malawi, let them take this national agenda, let them take these plans as part and parcel of their own development agenda, not necessarily emphasizing their manifesto.
Henry Zakaria then said the Agenda 2063 is a state agenda and will remain that way, but needs grassroots intervention so that it is achieved with excellency. Also available at the meeting were authorities from the District Council, Malawi Police Service and traditional leaders. The campaign that NICE is conducting towards the implementation of the national agenda is grossly embedded in transformative leadership, patriotism, integrity, hard work, and building positivity. For Luntha TV in Balaka, this is Rashida Matandika reporting.
Further news, one person has been shot dead in Kenya's western city of Kisumu as demonstrators continue to protest against the high cost of living. There have also been clashes between protesters and the police in informal settlements in Nairobi. The government has deployed security forces to quell the demonstrations called by opposition leader Leila Odinga, but this has only served to further inflame tensions. The Interior Ministry and the Inspector of Police have termed the protests illegal. President William Ruto is currently on an official visit to Belgium and Germany. Well, with that, we conclude the news. Now the headlines once again. Pope Francis invite prayers for victims of war and natural disasters. Members of Parliament call for government to revise CDF to improve development. Reserve Bank of Malawi commits to promote financial inclusion among all groups of people. And in other news, protester shot dead amid a Kenyan protest. You have been with me, Jacqueline Saidi. Thank you very much for watching Luntha Television and stay safe.